You have to have a strong stomach to grow and cure olives in Southern California. I talked to an LA County Extension agent about 2 years ago, and he informed me that the olive fruit fly is a fact of life. So, what happens is the maggot inside the olive wiggles its way out, falls on the ground, overwinters, and when the weather and the conditions are right, it turns into an olive fruit fly and begins to inject your emerging olives way before time that you would even think about harvesting them. So by the time you do, they've been injected numerous times, and you can be assured that there's at least one maggot in every olive. So I had decided that I would never bother to try to eat my olives or cure them until Glenda came to visit. Be sure and check out that video if you missed it, and the link above, to watch Glenda explaining this to me about that it's okay. And if you have a strong stomach, please continue to watch this video and see my first brining experience. So it's Monday morning, and we picked these on Thursday. These are the smaller olives, and I was going to try to start the brining process because I didn't have time over the weekend, and I'm just washing them, and I'm seeing all of these are maggots. Not terribly appetizing, but I'm forging ahead because of what Glenda told me. This maggot's going, "Hey, what's going on? Gotta get out of here." I realize this is gross, but this is what's left after just washing this batch. Those are all maggots with a little bit of dirt. Yeah. So the good news is most of them are already out, and they don't have to sit in the brine. You can see them trying to get out now. They're going, "Hey, what happened?" Well, guess what, guys? You're not going to turn into olive fruit flies and do this all over again. Sorry it's kind of dark in here, but I got up early and the sun hasn't come up yet. Okay, I'm going to wash them one more time. Wow, I'm giving them a second really good wash. There are many ways to cure olives, but I chose the salt brining method because it seemed to be the quickest. Now, we're still talking about 6 months, and it could take longer if you do not slit or pierce them or squish them, because the salt has to get in the olive to cure it. I'm adding pink Himalayan rock salt. I've already finished off this. This was about a third full. To make the brine, you have to put enough salt in so that a raw egg will float in it. And I've tried 2 eggs already, and it didn't float. You have to warm the water to dissolve that rock salt. You're supposed to use salt that is not iodized. And that's all that I had. Let's try it again. Oops. Oh, come on. More salt. I have now used all of my salt. The water is quite pink, and this better work. Oh no. It's floating, and I was forced to use some of this, which you're not supposed to use. But the majority of it is the Himalayan pink salt. So I'm moving ahead. My brine is ready. And I recommend, I didn't do this, but I recommend you brine them as soon as you pick them. When Eric was here, we harvested them on Thursday, and I didn't get around to brining until Sunday. So they had had time to kind of sit in those buckets, and hopefully they'll still be okay. I went ahead anyway, and a number of those maggots had already escaped. They went out the bucket and they were on the ground, so a couple of hundred of those. But there were many more that came out during the brining process, as you will see. Now I'm going to take a knife and I'm going to make a slit down each olive. It occurred to me after I had already spent an hour tediously slitting these olives, many of which are mushy because I left them sitting around for 4 days, that I didn't need to slit them because every one of them's got a maggot crawling out of some kind of a hole. And the point of slitting is to let the brine into the olive. So between the mushiness and the exit hole of the maggot, or maggots, you don't really need to slit them. I'm moving on. And this is the finished product that will go into jars. And you may still see one or two crawling out, but boy, did they try to exit when this process started. Anytime you make your own anything, there's so much value in that. But I just want you to appreciate your farmer, your vintner, your anybody that produces food. Now, these hardly have any meat on them because they were small to start with. This is the first year this tree has really produced, and I don't know if it's the variety, because we thought we were buying a non-fruiting tree. Just this was before we even started, before I even started the edible garden. And all of a sudden last year it put out all these olives, and I thought, wait, okay. Afraid of that. Olives tend to float, so this is one way to pack them in so they're not floating, because they have to all have access to the brine. So you literally fill them to the top. That is full. Tell it's full because it overflowed. Now, that's number one. Number two. 2 quarts and 1 pint. Busy all day, and so it's been 12 hours since I did the smaller olives, and this is the bigger vat of olives. Lesson number 1, don't wait. Make sure when you pick your olives, you are ready to brine them. Yeah, I see quite a few maggots floating on top already. We'll check back in a few minutes. There will probably be a lot more. I'm just pulling them out and then rinsing, maggot off like that, and then adding it here. And then I'll, of course, go through this process again. Okay, 4th wash, and that's it. I think all the maggots that were going to come out have come out. So, a long way to go. I cannot believe I did that. Okay. I started this in the dark, and I'm going to finish it in the dark. Okay, that took 1 hour and 16 minutes. I've just washed these jars in hot water, and I'm going to pack them to the top. That way you use less brine, and it's easier to get them in the brine. This was left over from my first batch of brine. This is my second batch. And the way you know if it's salty enough is if the egg floats, remember. One mistake I made was to fill the jars too full, and they have their own natural effervescence once they get going, and I just checked on them and they had exploded out of those lids a little bit, and there was a big mess in the cabinet. So make sure you don't fill them too high. Give them a little bit of room. This is Kaye's first foray into curing olives. These 3 are my little olives that I did this morning, and these are the bigger olives from the tree closest to my house. So there you have it. Once you get your olives brined and in the cupboard, then you're going to wait a few weeks and you're going to agitate those jars, or whatever vessel you put them in, and you're going to start testing them after a few weeks, and every few weeks you're going to test them and see if you like the flavor and the taste and if the saltiness of the olive. Once you've decided they're ready, you drain off that brine, which is now very bitter, and you can put them back in with olive oil, vinegar, or a fresh brine. And this is when you would add herbs and spices if you choose. And you can store that in your cupboard for up to 6 months. I will be testing my olives after the first of the year, and I'll be sure to film an update. As always, thank you so much for watching this channel. Please like the videos, watch till the end, and let the ads play. Help us make a few pennies. And most importantly, share them with your friends so this channel can grow and I can keep bringing you the best quality content on the lowest budget. Thanks so much, and if you enjoyed this video, try these. And I'll see you in the next one. They're so packed in they don't move. But yeah, you can see they're agitating. You can see some bubbles in there. These are really packed.